Alabama, Florida State. Years Georgia opened with Clemson, and then Oregon and LSU and Les Miles opened with Oregon and smacked them around. Alabama knocked around USC and Wisconsin and Va-Tech for years. The SEC fears nobody.
Stop it. I love the SEC. Put them on. By the way, if you just had an only SEC college football playoff show, it would be absolutely wonderful. How about that out there, SEC backers?
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
So the Mets, they went through a rough stretch where they were terrible, but, they win the series versus the Mariners. They're kind of turning things around just a little bit. Like, the offense has been there. You said they were in a playoff race. It's tough to say, they need to win. It's like trying to trust teams in different sports at the end of the season. But the hitters are hitting right now. Lean into the Mets, lean into the Phillies. These teams have something to play for, and they're cooking right now.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
I think what you saw last year is it's tough to say, it's projectable. But I do think it's something that when you're taking shots here, you're looking for a bye-week coverage wide receiver on your roster or a guy that has upside who's young enough to grow into more of a role. I think the development of Bo Nix was stunningly good last year. If we can build on that again this year, I think Marvin Mims is a really good selection as the 57th wide receiver off the board.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
What does he do after he hits the home run? He walks over to the fan and he pats him on the back and gives him a high five. This is the same fan that's been going after him for the entire game. Dave Roberts after the game saying, hey, look, every once in a while, it's kind of funny to see Shohei, who's got this wonderful personality that we almost never see. It was great to see him do that with the fans.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
And welcome in. It is In-Game Live Game Day and a fabulous football Friday. We do have football, actually. NFL football, a little college football as well. Maybe some little CFL football to get to. We got some tennis. We got some baseball and a little WNBA. But mostly, obviously, the NFL. And I think that first game just ended about 5 minutes ago. So we had a little doubleheader today. We got Kansas City getting set to take on the LA Chargers. My partner in crime, Mr. Gabe Morency. What's going on, Gabe? How are you this fabulous Friday? Okay, we got to get the Gabe's microphone going. But in the meantime, we do have kickoff here in about 5 minutes. So you know what? Why don't we get our SGP out of the way, guys, since we want to pertain this one to the Kansas City Chiefs game. So why don't we get a little SGP same game parlay time. And obviously, we will use this Kansas City game. Why not? Again, they kick off here in about 5 minutes, so we got a couple minutes to get this in. I got to do a couple of different things tonight. Let's have some fun. I just put it in a little while ago, and it paid $9.50, although I just saw the updated. It's right around $8.75, but still, 8-9 to 1, not bad. We're going to go with the under. We're going to bump it up to 60.5. Give ourselves a little bit of a cushion because we're going to play a couple touchdown guys in here. So under 60.5, it's minus 720. We're going to go with Patrick Mahomes. We're going to lower his passing yards down to $175. You can kind of one hand how many times he doesn't throw for 175 yards, right? That's minus 850. So how are we getting to 9 to 1 on this payoff, Scott? We're going to use the Chargers as well, getting 17.5 points. We're going to bump it way up. That's minus 1,100. So where are we getting the 9 to 1, you ask? Well, here's where we're going to get to the 9 to 1. We're going to use two touchdown guys. Isaiah Pacheco for the Kansas City Chiefs, touchdown at plus 158. And then we'll use Omar Hampton, the rookie running back for the Chargers, who I'm counting on being the bulk of the guy. So not Najee Harris, or at least both of them will get a bunch of carries, and I get a small hunch he's going to get a touchdown. That's plus 190. So I got to tell you, a plus 190 and a plus 158, and then three monster favorites, and it bumped it all the way up to 9.5 to 1 plus 946. So I think we're safe with the other 3-1. It's just getting a touchdown out of Pacheco and Hampton, obviously, but I think we will. Kansas City doesn't throw the ball for 350 yards anymore. Those days are long gone with the Chiefs, especially with the Rashee Rice still out. I think Pacheco is going to get back into the fix of things. And like I said, we're taking a chance on Hampton, but at almost 2-1, we'll do that into the parlay. So plus 946, Gabe. Under Chiefs, 60.5. Mahomes, 175 yards passing. Chargers plus 17.5. And then Pacheco and Hampton getting touchdowns. What do you think?
Man, it's long, Scott. You always have such long plays. You always need so many things to happen. But good to see you. It feels like just a couple hours ago that we were doing this.
Yeah.
Hopefully there's not a lightning delay tonight. So we're ready to rock. But so how many legs? What was that? A five legger?
Five.
It's not that bad. Was it a five? Okay, five
Yeah.
legger. You have a lot of chalk put together here. I would like, you're getting some decent odds when it's all said and done. Now, I do agree with you with Hampton. Now, I gave my picks for this game last night as we were discussing it, but to get after it again, I'm riding the trend here, guys. The Chargers have been hot starters over the years. Remember, they blew like a 28-0 lead or whatever it was in that playoff game, right? Like, they've started off strong. They sort of fade as games go on. They're 15-6 on the money line. Their last 21 first halves. I took the Chargers first half plus 125. I couldn't resist. I think, Scott, it's my hatred of the Kansas City Chiefs that I took the Chargers plus 3. And full disclosure, it's no like, oh, because of this or that. No, I just don't like the Chiefs. So let's go LA, baby. But I like this game teased with the Chargers up to plus 10 to the under 54.5. It went up from 46.5 to 47.5. How about the long field goal tonight, Scott? 50.5.
Wow.
So last night they tried to scare us with a 49.5. Tonight, 50.5. They saw the 53 and 58 being made last night. Listen, Scott, I'll tell you what, Butker, this dude, this guy makes 55-yard field goals in bad weather in the wintertime. And Cameron Dicker's one of the best. Dicker, the kicker, is one of the best kickers in the league, Scott. So it's 50.5 tonight. I couldn't resist. We're 1-0 on the season with the long field goal prop. But totally agree with you with Hampton. I don't know what it is with NFL players, Scott, and them screwing around with fireworks, but they should stop doing it. One guy blew his hand off, and now Najee Harris. I think Harris is his eye is more messed up than people let on. Like, that was more serious than people realized. And they didn't draft this Hampton dude, Scott, not to use him. I love Hampton. Give me him to score a touchdown, plus 150. Hampton, Scott, at North Carolina was really good at catching the ball out of the backfield. It's 1.5. It's minus 180. It's good for the same game parlay players. It's minus 180, but I love Hampton over 1.5 catches. And Hampton over 13.5 receiving yards, Scott. Couple of balls he's going to catch. I think he can pop it for more than 13.5. And I got a lot tonight. I'm going with Lad McConkey over 5.5 receptions this evening as well. This kid's just a stud.
Okay. That's not bad. What's strange about Hampton, Gabe, is that his number now is 46.5. That's the most for a Charger running back. The next guy is actually, Harris is the next guy at 24.5, and Justin Herbert's at 16.5 rushing. So, you add those guys up, and that's still less than 100 yards rushing. And I don't know about the Chargers getting less than 100 yards rushing. So I think it's kind of a feeling out process with Hampton. They don't know if he's going to be the main guy, but they're not really giving you that many yards with Harris, but only 24.5. Like I said, he's the second choice. So I'd be surprised if one Charger did rush for at least 50 yards. Not the way Harbaugh wants to run the ball. Not if it's the way they did it last year against Kansas City, which they did lose both games, but they were both close. But sometimes you say, well, that didn't work last year, so let's change things up this year. But Herbert's numbers were all under last year. His passing attempts, his passing completions, the yardage, it all went under. They ran again. So I think he's going to be the same thing. So I like the Hampton stuff. What else do you have?
I'll tell you what, Scott, there is a misconception out there, and it sort of becomes we all fall for narratives, right? I'm sure you've heard it, the narrative. Oh, the Chargers play the Chiefs tough, right? Oh, yeah, the Chargers. You hear that all the time. Oh, they play them tough. They haven't beaten them, Scott, since 2021.
Yeah.
Can you believe that, guys? The Chargers have not beaten the Chiefs since September the 26th, 2021. Last year, they lost by 2, and they lost by 7. The year before, they lost 13-12. They lost by 1, and they lost 31-17 once. They find ways to screw it up all the time. Like, the Chargers are always ahead, or they're trying to come back late. They never just sort of go wire to wire. This was a pretty good football team, though, last year, Wetzel. An 11-win team with the Chargers. You know, I'm a big Harbaugh guy. Everywhere he's been, he's won, Scott. Like, point blank. Everywhere he's been, right? Stanford, he brought them. I know he had Andrew Luck, but he was good. He goes to the NFL. You know, he's got Alex Smith, Colin Kaepernick. He goes to the Super Bowl. He goes to Michigan. He wins a national championship. Like, the guy is a winner. So, you know, I do think it takes a couple of years for him to build the program, so to speak. But for me, Scott, it's sort of like, all right, you know, start winning games. Like, you know what I mean? The Chargers, every year we hear about the potential of the Chargers. And, Scott, I saw a quarterback ranking. Justin Herbert ranked 5th in the league. Like, 5th in the league. Like, okay, you like him. He's 6'4". He's got a cute girlfriend, and he looks the part. But how much has he won? What do you mean 5th best in the league? Come on, man. They got to go out there and prove it. And it starts tonight.
And, Gabe, I'll tell you, I know it sounds goofy to say, but I'll explain it here in a minute. This game is that much more important to the Chargers than it is the Chiefs. And you may say, well, why is that, Scott? It's opening day. It's important to both. Because this is the designated Charger home game. You know, they play twice a season.
That's a good call.
They play at Kansas City. This is the
like
Chargers home game. So
gotta love how they put a Chiefs end zone, though, boy. Like it's a neutral field game.
Yeah.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
Donnie, the season is 6 months, 5 if you check out in September. You're going to have a bad month. The Yankees had a horrible month, that is true. But beyond that, their regular season looks okay. They're going to win their 90 games or maybe a little bit more and get to the postseason. What is everybody freaking out about?
Everybody freaks out. It's the Yankee tax and the Yankee fan tax as well, where every single season you enter into the equation going like, it's championship or bust.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Remember these names: AZ Fudd, Olivia Miles, Lauren Betts. Depending on who wins that lottery, that's going to depend on who goes one. If Washington wins, it's Fudd. She's from the area. If Dallas wins, they're going to bring Fudd to play with, obviously, Paige. If Minnesota wins, I think they go Miles with the point. If Seattle wins, they go with Miles, and the same thing with Chicago.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
I was looking at through my phone at first. I'm like, why is there such a delay? And why are we getting pitch hitters right away? Oh, the pitcher got thrown out for some reason. Maybe he hurt himself. But no, turning out and seeing a brawl was absolutely hilarious to let that one play out. Just the way it is sometimes in baseball. We don't get a lot of good fights and a lot of good brawls and anger, specifically from two teams that aren't going to the playoffs. So good on them for showing that moxie last time. But it's good to see a little bit of a brawl and a little bit of that passion here.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip? Try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game day here on the grid. Scott and Gabe just getting underway. So I got to tell you, nothing for nothing. Maybe it's just coincidence here, Gabe. But right, so the opening kickoff, Chargers kickoff to the Chiefs. They returned it all the way down to the Charger, right around the 40-yard line, right? And
I had a heart attack as it was happening, Wetzel.
Yeah, but here's the thing, right? So the guy's being tackled out of bounds, and then I see these late flags. 2 of them, admittedly, came in, and I'm thinking, all right, maybe there was a late hit, maybe a holding penalty on Kansas City. And then they bring the ball all the way back to the 20-yard line, which means the penalty had to have occurred right around the 30-35, and yet they didn't come out until this guy was pushed out of bounds 30 yards down the field. I always wonder about stuff like that. Like, if there was a penalty 30 yards down the field, why did it take you 30-yard return
that's the worst.
To call the penalty?
Isn't it the worst, though, too? And listen, I'm glad they called a penalty, but I never understand, Scott, how the NFL, the referees and the linesmen, everybody closest to the play, don't call anything. And it's always some dude that's 40 yards away from it. Oh, that's a flag. And he comes running in. It's like, bro, we're all here. No one saw anything. All right. You want to call it? I'm glad they called that there, but I don't know. I'll take it to my grave, Wetzel, that Jalen Hurts was short last night on a 4th down attempt. The Cowboys didn't really complain about it, so I guess I'll live with it. But you got to live with the referees. College is even worse, where you just got to deal with a lot of terribleness. But so how about last night, guys? We start off the game with the injury. Player gets carted off the field. The spitting incident. This is a unique one, Scott. Xavier Worthy. Xavier Worthy of, oh my God, big play. Big play Chargers. I took Quentin Johnson over 2.5 catches, too, just as a little late play. There's Quentin Johnson. But Xavier Worthy, guys, who's a key part of this offense now. They don't really have a lot of, pieces here. He got smoked. I saw him coming out. He's a small guy, Scott. I interviewed him at the Super Bowl last year. He's a small dude, man. And he's thin, and, you would never think he's a football player, right? But he's fast as hell. I saw him coming off the field, his shoulder was, really injured. I'm like, what happened to him? He got smoked by Travis Kelce. Kelce didn't see him and ran blindside, across the flat and literally ran him over like a linebacker. It looked like Worthy got, ran over by a car, Scott. Travis Kelce just steamrolled the kid. He went down in, a heap, and he got up. I think his shoulder was separated. I think Travis Kelce just murdered his own teammate on the first play of the game, Scott. We'll get an injury update. I'll scout this. You'll see it in 10 minutes. You got Kurt's cable tonight. Wetzel's a little behind here.
I'm just seeing that big play you mentioned there from Hampton.
Now you're seeing Johnson down the field.
Yeah. So the only good thing about that game is if there's something controversial, whatever, I'm like, okay, don't worry. I got it. You may have missed it, there, but I'm going to get it in about 15 seconds. So I'll let you know exactly what happened.
There's going to be discrepancies in different games where you're ahead, I'm ahead. It's just, it is what it is. You know what I mean? It goes back and forth. But it's not our job to do play-by-play. And in fact, we're legally not allowed to do play-by-play. So we're here to give you in-game analysis and bets, right? But we're just watching the game with you.
Yeah. Ultimately, you think the Chargers are winning tonight?
I rode the trend, Scott, that ultimately I think the Chargers are going to start off strong. And the Chiefs will do their thing and come back and win a close one, right? You know as well as I do. You're a big numbers guy. The Kansas City Chiefs are not good favorites, Scott. Right? They're just not.
Yeah, they've been awful.
Guys, this is serious enough that Xavier Worthy's going to the locker room, Wetzel. This is real. Wow. He just got murdered by Travis Kelce, Mr. Taylor Swift.
Yeah, I'm sure she's there. Well, I'll tell you what, without Rashee Rice, obviously, who's still suspended, and now you lose his best wide receiver, and you got to count on 9-year-old Travis Kelce. Yeah, he's
Yeah, I'll agree with you on that one. We'll have the same take. I thought you would agree with that.
Yeah.
I'm screw him. I'm not no. He's not reliable.
Yeah. There's a reason why he's bouncing around the league, right? We all gave him the out for the first time, but Lamar can't throw the ball, but he's bounced around. It's not been anything special.
Hey, Scott, when you're Lamar Jackson's cousin and Lamar doesn't want you, and you're his cousin.
Yeah, that tells me
they're blood, bro. Lamar's nah, you can let him go. All right, that's cool.
Here's a good stat for you. Now, it might not come into play tonight, but it might, who knows? So, Kansas City, if Kansas City is leading after the first quarter, might as well just turn the TV set off, which is the worst thing in the world a host would ever want you to say.
What's the record?
Here's why. Out of 71 games, when leading after the first quarter, Kansas City is the first quarter, not half. They're 64-7 including 29 straight wins. I mean, first quarter, like nothing. You know, it's like a first quarter.
That's the equivalent, Scott.
Game, right?
Yeah, I was going to say that's the equivalent of, let's say, after the third inning in a baseball game. If they have a 1-run lead, the game's over. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like a third of the game, like in that percentage. That's wild.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't lose that much anyway. Don't get me wrong. But still, 64-7 is just like, wow.
And they closed strong. Straight. Like, we put the trend up 12-4 against the spread last year. So last 16, so essentially last year. 12-4 against the spread in the fourth quarter, guys. That's consistency of ending strong.
There's a good stat. Let's see if I can find it. They have like the most wins of any team, like trailing in the fourth quarter. It's like not even close. I can't find it, but something.
We got our first touchdown. We got our first touchdown of the evening, and we didn't get into the game. Started so fast, we didn't get our first touchdown player prop bets in. But on the show, I would not have taken him. Quentin Johnson, of all people.
Oof. Not my boy.
You know what's funny? Everyone criticizes him like, oh, he's kind of a bust and he hasn't lived up to the hype. I had a feeling right before the game tonight. I saw someone criticizing him on Twitter. They were like, Johnson, he won't do anything. And I'm like, it's 2.5. I bet you he does. Nice start for him. And how about our plus 125 nice. Chargers first half money line? Off to a nice start.
Not bad. Not bad at all. All right, so we probably will throw that Kansas City leading after the first quarter, although it's early enough, but we'll see about that. So
getting worried about the under already, though.
Yeah,
how about last night? We didn't even cry about that, Scott. It didn't go over. It didn't go over.
Don't even get me. Yeah, first game, the very first game out of
41 points in the first,
and it goes under.
We all know nothing beats the energy of playing live roulette in a casino. But playing roulette online sure does have its perks. At the casino, you'll average 40 to 50 spins per hour. But online, you're looking at 100 to 150. The more spins, the more chance of wins. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
The Dallas Cowboys losing that pass rush, losing another big impact player on the defensive side, all this does is make me like Dak Prescott more and CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens more, because what we talked about all offseason, right, Matt, which is, hey, when Dak is healthy, he is a top 5 fantasy quarterback, and the defense we think is okay, but we think they're going to be in a lot of shootouts. Now I definitely think there's going to be a lot more shootouts.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
No better place to be than SportsGrid. College football today, right here on the SportsGrid Network. Joe, Lisi, Donnie, right side for the entire season, Joe, on Saturday. This is your place. This is your place to be, Joe.
I love it. I tell you. And it's flying. Show's flying. We're on an hour already. I can't wait. We're licking our chops for these Rat Pack games. And it's a great slate.
Look at you on the screen right now.
Look like a little rat.
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
The reason why I feel like Jared Goff doesn't really enter these MVP conversations. Jared Goff last year was on the team with the best record in football, threw for 4,700 yards, 37 touchdowns, and Tom was never in the race. He was never in the race because we know he's not that guy.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back. It is In-Game Live, game day here on the grid. So we are underway. Didn't take long. Chargers first possession after KC went 3 and out, moved right down the field. So it's 7-0 San Diego. Well, it's 7-0 Chargers. I still can't get out of the San Diego mode here. And now they're 2.5-point favorites. So that from a 3-point, that makes sense. From a 3-point dog, you had a lead. So if you didn't want to lay the 3, not that 3 was 3.5, but even if you didn't want to lay the 3, now you got the Chiefs plus 122. In fact, even on the money line, I think I'd go there. I would forget the 2.5. If you want to play the game, go back and forth. Does Kansas City respond? If so, they'll be a slight favorite. It's not a big number, plus 122, but I'll take the Chiefs plus the 122, hoping I'm going to be able to hedge, or go back and forth. Not really hedge, but go back and forth and build myself like 3 or 4 bets money line on Kansas City, Gabe, and then 3 or 4 on the Chargers at plus money for both, obviously.
Mahomes just scrambles on the play for a first down, so he does this thing. Nobody is open. And he scrambles, but this has to be a distinct advantage for the Chargers early in this game, Scott. Like, Worthy really matters that much to this offense right now.
Oh, he's big.
Guys, in the last 3 games of the year last year, he had 21 catches. I picked him to score a touchdown in the Super Bowl, and he did. Like, he became an impact player for them, Scott, in the last, down the stretch last year. I mean, he was a kid. He was a rookie, right? So he's small. He's figuring things out, but he earned Mahomes' trust. Let's call it out for what it is. He was their number 1 wide receiver coming into this year. He's gone right now. Mahomes doesn't, like you said, he was just scrambling around. Travis ain't what he used to be. You got the other dude there, the other tight end, but like you and I talked about Hollywood Brown, Pacheco's okay, but they don't really have a punishing ground attack here. This could be a problem for Kansas City. If I was the Chargers, I'd really want to get a lead on these guys and see if they can throw the ball down the field on us.
Yeah. I tell you, maybe a hunch on FanDuel and the boys in Vegas' part, but they don't list Worthy at all. Maybe that they're just being, pound foolish, penny wise, pound foolish, smart thing to do.
I don't think he's coming back.
Under, maybe. But usually they have a head start on these things. And if they're not listing him at all, they don't even have his name on there anymore.
When he left, it wasn't, and you want to talk about bad beats. You and I just bitched it. I didn't really cry about it yet, but the over last night. All right. And put it this way, guys, I hate the term bad beat. You lost your bet. If it lost, it wasn't a good bet, and it's never your fault, right? Oh, it was a bad beat, and this should happen. Last night was the first time in 30 years in an NFL game that a game started with scores on the first 8 drives of the game and ended the game, Scott, with 8 scores without drives without a score. 30 years. 30 years.
Wow.
You want to talk about a bad beat? Rob Vino told me another stat that the situation was 172-1 to the over after there was 41 points in the first. We got pinched. We got pinched. You and I. We all got pinched.
Philadelphia scored on its first possession of the second half, so it was really an 8. I mean, that was it.
That stupid delay killed us. We talked about it. You said, it's going to kill it. It's going to kill the game. It's going to kill the game. It killed the game.
It just killed it.
So, you want to talk about a bad beat? I bet Xavier Worthy over yards and him to score a touchdown, but he played, Scott. He played. He was on the field, and he got smoked by Travis Kelce on the first play of the game. You can't make this up.
272 regular season games there are, right? When you multiply 32 times 17 divided in half. 270. The very first game, Gabe. The boys in Vegas let you know who's boss. Oh, you're all thinking you got that over, huh? Okay. Keep on betting that money like it's won money. Yeah, sure, absolutely.
Oh, I couldn't help but think about the books, the sports book managers smiling and going, "Can you believe we won?" They were amazed. I said last night, losing that over is like losing a blackjack hand at 20, but not really even. Because that actually happens a lot. That does happen a lot. Anyone, you know what I mean? Yeah. Oh, I got 20. Good for you. Blackjack. That dealer beats you. It's happened to me thousands of times in my life. What happened last night hasn't happened thousands of times. It was the first time in 30 years.
Yeah. It's like if it was baseball, I know you said the third inning, it would be like having a 6-1 ninth inning lead. It maybe even more than that, because that's probably been blown a few times. I mean, if you just use how many times it's happened, 10-1.
No, I'd say this is like having a baseball game total that was 9.5, and we had 7 runs after the first inning.
Yeah.
Or 8 runs. 8 runs. You know what I mean? And think about it. It was hard because of the delay, and I realized after they were Oh, and the last play before the delay was the Miles Sanders fumble. And I'm like, oh, my God, if he doesn't fumble, this game's already over right now. It's 27-24.
Yeah. That's right.
He screwed us.
Wow. He did.
We all know nothing beats the energy of playing live roulette in a casino. But playing roulette online sure does have its perks. At the casino, you'll average 40 to 50 spins per hour. But online, you're looking at 100 to 150. The more spins, the more chance of wins. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
The Dallas Cowboys losing that pass rush, losing another big impact player on the defensive side, all this does is make me like Dak Prescott more and CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens more, because what we talked about all offseason, right, Matt, which is, hey, when Dak is healthy, he is a top 5 fantasy quarterback, and the defense we think is okay, but we think they're going to be in a lot of shootouts. Now I definitely think there's going to be a lot more shootouts.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
No better place to be than SportsGrid. College football today, right here on the SportsGrid Network. Joe, Lisi, Donnie, right side for the entire season, Joe, on Saturday. This is your place. This is your place to be, Joe.
I love it. I tell you. And it's flying. Show's flying. We're on an hour already. I can't wait. We're licking our chops for these Rat Pack games. And it's a great slate.
Look at you on the screen right now.
Look like a little rat.
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
The reason why I feel like Jared Goff doesn't really enter these MVP conversations. Jared Goff last year was on the team with the best record in football, threw for 4,700 yards, 37 touchdowns, and Tom was never in the race. He was never in the race because we know he's not that guy.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live, Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Gabe watch a little football, whether it's CFL, whether it's college or NFL. Obviously, NFL taking center stage. So Kansas City just punted again, just to update that before we touch on some college football. The pass right in Marquise Brown's, right in his hands. It just dropped it. Yeah, and it would have given them a first down at the Chief 30 or at the Chargers 30-yard line.
He CeeDee it? You're telling me.
He sucks. He sucks anyway. You know, you look at the numbers just out of like to make fun of how bad the Kansas City wide receivers are. So Kelsey, who has 10 yards, is the leading guy yardage-wise, Gabe, at 58.5 yards. The next guy is Brown at 43.5. I mean, you look for guys, okay, if Worthy's not there, maybe you play Pacheco at 8.5. Maybe Juju Smith-Schuster going to get some time tonight at 30.5. But I wouldn't be playing Marquise Brown. I'll tell you that. He stinks. I
didn't. That's why I went. That's why I went with Worthy. Part of me thought that Kelsey would sort of be a little. People just sort of dismissed him coming into this game tonight, Scott. But the fact of the matter was, his prop was 5.5. Receptions. And in the old days, that would have been, man, that could happen on one drive. You know what I'm saying? Like just up to 2 years ago, it'd be like, man, you can get 3-4 catches on one drive. Now, I don't know. I don't know what to expect from him. But, that is one of Mahomes' security blankets. Guys, you know what I would think a bet would be right now, actually, in game, Scott? Is Mahomes rush yards, bro. We saw him take off already. Yeah. He doesn't have receivers. They're not going to get open. They're still going to try to pass, and he's going to have to take off. And the Chargers have done a nice job of getting at him so far. I'm going to see what Mahomes, and it's nice because the Chargers have the ball right now, so we can get this in.
25.5, and he's got 11 already.
Oh, come on.
15
this is a
more
good
yards.
play, Scott. I'm clicking this right now. Mahomes always takes off. He doesn't have any help. He has to tonight.
they're going to have to design plays, Gabe. I was thinking about this in a break with Worthy out. They're going to have to like throw some screen passes, short little screens to the wide receivers, actual real screens to running back. Just go unorthodox a little bit. Call some bootlegs for Mahomes.
Scott. Smith-Schuster is here. He's not the player he once was, but he's all they got right now.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, he's at 38 and a half. So for Smith-Schuster. Okay, rush yards. Here we go. Mahomes, I got, I always get a worse number than you, Scott. 28 and a half I got.
Wow. FanDuel just bumped it up to 26 and a half. They're listening. So I
they're listening and they realize, I'm telling you guys, just thinking of watching this game, the way it's playing out, he's got no one to throw it to. His first scramble, he picked up 11 yards on one rush. He's really good at those little 10-yard bursts and getting out of bounds.
Yep. And they're losing. It's early, but it's not like they're leading by 30 and he'd go conservative. So, I don't mind that.
Like some teams, when they lose, it's like, the quarterback's got to throw. If the Chiefs are falling behind even more, he'll just start running more. He'll be like, I got to do this myself. Yeah. The total, sort of slowing down a little bit here. We had that quick touchdown to start the game. The Chiefs punted the ball, pinned them on the goal line. So the Chargers actually just did a nice job of even getting out of the trouble. They literally Herbert nearly just got sacked in the end zone a minute ago. So they just punted Chiefs ball on their own 40, getting the ball back. So we got the play in, guys. Over 28 and a half Mahomes rush yards here.
There you go. I got it at 26 and a half. And you know what? I don't think it's getting to 48 points. These Kansas City offense, it's half a quarter, but it looks like the same offense we saw last year. And if that's the case, especially without Worthy, it's going to be a dink and dunk offense, which means it takes too much time to get down the field. The days of Kansas City, Ty Hill throwing for 30, 35 yards and, automatically getting in the red zone. That doesn't happen with Kansas. They were an under team last year, and it kind of looks to be the same this year. So, you got a decent number at 47 and a half, albeit 7-0. So I still like that as well. I tell you who I liked the game in college football today. We had 4 games going on, 2 semi-main games. Yeah, I like JMU. I like James Madison, and I like Northern Illinois. Now, Northern's down 10-0, but you're getting 16.5 with Northern. You were getting 14.5 with James Madison. Really good program. 24-6 their last 30 games. They're maybe not quite at the Louisville level, but getting over 2 touchdowns. I did like them tonight. And they're up 7-6 at halftime, getting only 5.5 now.
They are up 7-6. Louisville just kicked a field goal. Full disclosure, I'm on Louisville in a money line parlay with the BC Lions in the CFL. And speaking of which, we've had a lower scoring game in the CFL than expected, but the BC Lions just scored to take a 10-0 lead over Ottawa. I'm surprised. I give you credit, Scott. I know some other people that like JMU tonight as well. I was sort of thinking that this Louisville team was ready to, really take that next step. I think Jeff Brom's a really good coach. You got Miller Moss at quarterback who comes over from USC. This Louisville defense is actually good now. They've the last couple of years, they've really improved their defense. But I'm surprised. I totally get liking the points, right? I totally get that. But I'm surprised. You got to be surprised that JMU have held the Cards and that potent offense to 6 points in the first half. And even you got to be surprised at such a defensive battle. I like the over 55, Scott. I thought, you know what? Louisville will score third in the mid-30s, and JMU will get into the 20s type of deal. And no, it's a legit slugfest. Like, they both keep going for it on 4th down and getting stopped. And JMU got 1 touchdown, kind of luckily, because it was 4th and long. They got saved on a flag. It was like automatic first down, and then they scored like on a little trick play type deal. So give them credit, but Louisville have been stopping them. I got to believe that Louisville's offense finally clicks through, but your point spread side is looking pretty strong here, I think.
Yeah. I will tell you this, James Madison, for their 7-6 lead, they've thrown for 33 yards and they've run for 32.
They've done nothing, Wetzel. I'm watching the game. They're getting blown up on every play.
Yeah. I mean, so now the line is down to 5.5. That's you got to figure Louisville somewhere along the line is going to put it in gear.
That's why I brought up the context. That's why I brought up the context, Scott, of like how they scored on the 4th and long. Like it was it was literally like 4th down and they went for it and the quarterback got murdered and they didn't get it and stupid defensive holding down the field, automatic first down, and they ended up scoring after. So like, thank you, good by you by bringing it up. So like offensively, you see, what do they got? 65 yards offense, and they're winning 7-6. How's that possible?
That's it. Yeah. And it's not because of in college, which I don't like, but it is what it is. In college, sacks go against your yardage total for rushing. NFL, it doesn't. That's why if you ever play a prop rushing for a quarterback in college, it's so dumb. It's so dumb, right? So, but this is not the case. It's not like the Barnett, their quarterback, was sacked, 5 times and minus 50 yards. He's got minus 7 yards. So the numbers are legit. It's like less than 65 yards.
That happened to me with the UCF offense. Quarterback against Boise State.
Yeah.
I took the kid the rush, and the first play of the game, he lost 22 yards, Scott, on a sack. Whatever, one of the first plays of the game. He went backwards, and it was funny. I swear to God, I was like, this kid must have ran for 150 yards today. I look at his end stat, 46 yards. Yes. No way he ran for 46 yards. He ran up and down the field, but 46 yards. Speaking of which, Boise play later. I played the over. We'll get to that later, but I don't know if you're playing the game. Boise State, Eastern Washington, a little bit of movement from 59 up to 60 right now.
All right. Got to figure Boise's got to put a number on them, right? After losing last week and playing horribly. This is kind of like a moment of truth game where if they're any good, they'll really just, beat the hell out of them.
Eastern Washington, as you know, guys, they're a pretty good FCS program, right? Like over the years, they've had really good players and, they've had big-time quarterbacks. This isn't the best edition. They're not terrible, but they gave up 31 last week to Incarnate Word. At Incarnate Word. They lost 31-21. So if Incarnate Word's dropping 31 on you and you're getting an angry Boise State at home on a Friday night, I think Boise, you're getting into the 50s tonight.
Yeah. Maybe Boise State team total. Maybe that's it.
What do you think about the 30?
31.5.
Too high for you? The 31.5? It's a little high,
if I was going to do it,
probably blow low.
Yeah. Boise State team total 45.5. That's where I would go.
How about this? Hey, we're talking football tonight, but how about Felix Auger-Aliassime gets smoked in the first, but we got a match going on right now. He's not going away. It's 2-2 right now.
2-2. All right. That case is out for that. We dispose of the Jokers today.
We all know nothing beats the energy of playing live roulette in a casino. But playing roulette online sure does have its perks. At the casino, you'll average 40 to 50 spins per hour. But online, you're looking at 100 to 150. The more spins, the more chance of wins. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
The Dallas Cowboys losing that pass rush, losing another big impact player on the defensive side, all this does is make me like Dak Prescott more and CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens more, because what we talked about all offseason, right, Matt, which is, hey, when Dak is healthy, he is a top 5 fantasy quarterback, and the defense we think is okay, but we think they're going to be in a lot of shootouts. Now I definitely think there's going to be a lot more shootouts.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
No better place to be than SportsGrid. College football today, right here on the SportsGrid Network. Joe, Lisi, Donnie, right side for the entire season, Joe, on Saturday. This is your place. This is your place to be, Joe.
I love it. I tell you, and it's flying. Show's flying. We're on an hour already. I can't wait. We're licking our chops for these Rat Pack games. And it's a great slate.
Look at you on the screen right now.
Look like a little rat.
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
The reason why I feel like Jared Goff doesn't really enter these MVP conversations. Jared Goff last year was on the team with the best record in football, threw for 4,700 yards, 37 touchdowns, and Tom was never in the race. He was never in the race because we know he's not that guy.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Another big run for Hampton, I see. He's packing up the other at 49.5. He's going to get that. He's got 22 yards already on 4 carries. What's good about that is he's got only 4 carries. So if the guy's averaging 5.5 yards a carry, there's no reason to stop.
Any catches?
Football. Yeah.
Any catches?
Let's see. No catches.
Okay. All right, I got that. Can't win them all. Still early. Yeah. Still early.
It's early.
That's the good thing about props, right? You got the whole game. Anything could happen.
Yeah.
They're moving the ball, though. Here's another first down. They just picked it up. They're at the 15-yard line right now. The Chargers' offense has been very efficient tonight.
Tell you what, how many times you can count on one hand how many times Patrick Mahomes has been down 14-0 in the first half of a game, right? Or 14 points any time of a game, let alone the first half, let alone the first quarter if it ends up being
I was going to say half. We're not even out of the first quarter yet. We're coming up to the end of it. In-game total bouncing around at 49.5 right now. We'll see if they're able to punch this in, but you kind of got to believe that they are, although there's a flag on the play here. I was going to say, with this Harbaugh offense, you got Najee Harris, you got Hampton, you can kind of smash mouth this thing into the end zone. You got Herbert to potentially throw it, but they run the ball, Scott, and they get a holding penalty on first down, sets them back.
Oh, I see it. 1st and 10 at the 15. Yeah, there you go. 1st and 20 at the 25. So this would be big. I tell you, if you think it's 14-0, we got time to figure this stuff out. But then you play maybe the Holmes passing props. I mean, would they, go completely
it's 6.5, but who does he throw it to? I like the running more. Like, who's he going to throw it to? I know he finds a way. I mean, you and I would somehow. He could, all right, Gabe and Scott, I'll get you the ball. Just go over there. You know what I mean? Like, he's that good. I get it, but they really are thin on offense, guys. Let's call it off what it is. Rashee Rice, nearly killing people and running everyone over. He's lucky he's not in jail, but that's, you know what I mean? He's a hell of a player, Scott, right? They miss him.
Yeah. They locked it now. So it's got to be Kelsey. I tell you, you'll find out a lot, I think, tonight, because if Kelsey doesn't have a big game and they clearly need him to, and coming off the awful Super Bowl with all those videos about him not even trying in the Super Bowl, if he doesn't have a big game, he's the one that hurt Worthy,
and he's the one I know wasn't delivered.
A little friendly fire. I mean,
listen,
so
Herbert just scrambled
today. That's it. You're done.
Herbert just scrambled. It looked. Remember Scott the play when he was at college in the Rose Bowl with Oregon? He ran down the field and it was like an epic. It was his epic college play in the Rose Bowl.
Right.
And he took off. Thing with Herbert is he doesn't like to run much. And he's kind of he's almost as big as Josh Allen is. He's a big dude, this guy.
Oh, he's a big guy.
Right?
Yeah,
he's sort of, and he's very athletic. You see when he runs, he's fast. And in college, he did take off more. It seems like when he got paid, I know he got his ribs busted up a couple of times and he's more, they don't really love it. But I know Harbaugh told him this year, we need you to run more. He said, we need you to bring this element to our offense. He just did, guys. Watch the highlight, the replay here, guys. He literally just ran people over, bounced off. He looked like Josh Allen. Determined. I'm getting into the end zone. Son of a bitch is behind him. Holding. It came back. They're going backwards.
Wow. First and
I'd
now
be mad
30.
if I'm Harbaugh. I'd be like, our quarterback just got himself killed and you ruined the play, you jackass. What are you doing?
Yeah. You can call holding game on every single play. You just wonder, is that a hold? I mean, yeah, that's a hold. What's funny about it is, they'll show the holding, and then the announcers will say, oh, yeah, you're right. He did hold him, definitely. I know that. I'd like to have another announcer say, yeah, I know that, but he also held him 5 other plays, and it wasn't called. So, yeah, you're right. He did hold him on that play, but, why did you call it all the other times? Why are you calling
the Chris Collins were special. Gee shucks, that's a tough call. It really could have went either way. That's how you stay on TV for 50 years. Gee shucks. Refs have a tough job. It's like, man, have an opinion, all right, Chris? What do you think?
He used to be good, but he's gotten so cupcake soft now. I used to like him a lot, but man, the last 2, 3, 4 years, he's been just nothing controversial at all. And listen, you don't need to be you or me, right?
And he is a smart guy,
you can at least point out some things.
You're right. You remember in your early days, let's say 15 years ago, he was on the cutting edge of the smart football show, Scott, if you remember, right? Yeah. He'd be on HBO and smart analysis and takes. It was hey, you got to watch this stuff. It's good stuff. And Chris Collinsworth, it's an act on TV, the old yokel act. That's the thing. He's playing an act because he's smart enough that he's the one that created the Pro Football Focus and stuff, the PFF website. So, like, Collinsworth is a football analytics sort of nerd and guru, but on TV, it is what it is. He plays the hokey role, and he's making a lot more money than you and I. And he got his son, his basically talentless son, on TV somehow, but that's another story, Scott.
Yeah, I wondered about that.
Story.
Like, boy, he looks like
that was part of the contract, I think.
Yeah, a little nepotism there, huh? Yeah, shocking. College football, we're at half at 2 of the games. We got James Madison. They should be getting set to start the third quarter. Up 7-6 against Louisville, 5.5 now from 14.5. That's not a bad little number. I also think we're going to get some scoring in the second half. It's 38.5, and you got 13 now. Two teams that can score. I don't know what happened in this first half, but I think we're going to get some points, especially with Louisville trailing. And
I'm getting killed tonight. Dude, I thought that, well, you know what? I thought that Northern Illinois and Maryland could get to 45. I thought it was a low number. Yeah, and I know that Northern Illinois' offense is somewhat challenged. They scored 19, in the 19-17 win against Holy Cross. I figured they'd get into the 17-20s, and Maryland play more up-tempo. Like, I'm surprised that Maryland aren't doing better offensively, truth be told. 10-3 at the half. The total's 32.5 right now. You can get 13.5 with the Huskies if you like NIU.
I did like them getting to 16. I told you to break. I put them at a 3-team tease, 10-point tease with James Madison, Northern, and then the Chargers. So that's looking
Northwestern up 15-0 on the Leathernecks.
Yeah, the Western lost to somebody last week. I forget who, by like 50 points.
Illinois.
Good.
52-3.
Exactly.
Remember, we liked the under 63.5 because I said, they won't score. Like, I don't see how it gets to 65.
Yeah, that one did hit.
Eastern and Boise are coming up, guys, at 9 Eastern. So we got 10 minutes. On the other side, we can sort of contemplate. I think we lay the points, but I got to be honest. My college picks suck this year so far.
Moved up a point already on Boise. We'll talk about it.
We all know nothing beats the energy of playing live roulette in a casino. But playing roulette online sure does have its perks. At the casino, you'll average 40 to 50 spins per hour. But online, you're looking at 100 to 150. The more spins, the more chance of wins. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
The Dallas Cowboys losing that pass rush, losing another big impact player on the defensive side, all this does is make me like Dak Prescott more and CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens more, because what we talked about all offseason, right, Matt, which is, hey, when Dak is healthy, he is a top 5 fantasy quarterback, and the defense we think is okay, but we think they're going to be in a lot of shootouts. Now I definitely think there's going to be a lot more shootouts.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
No better place to be than SportsGrid. College football today, right here on the SportsGrid Network. Joe, Lisi, Donnie, right side for the entire season, Joe, on Saturday. This is your place. This is your place to be, Joe.
I love it. I tell you. And it's flying. Show's flying. We're on an hour already. I can't wait. We're licking our chops for these Rat Pack games. And it's a great slate.
Look at you on the screen right now.
Look like a little rat.
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
The reason why I feel like Jared Goff doesn't really enter these MVP conversations. Jared Goff last year was on the team with the best record in football, threw for 4,700 yards, 37 touchdowns, and Tom was never in the race. He was never in the race because we know he's not that guy.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Gabe, our number one, watching the football. That's in a commercial break right now, so give us a minute to our Black Cloud play of the day. All right, believe it or not, we're going to use a little WNBA. We got a game later on tonight. Seattle playing the New York Liberty. Seattle is yet to clinch a playoff spot, which is the key with 3, 4, 5 games left. Liberty has, and Liberty's been playing awful. Really, they've been playing awful for the last 2 months. But even with Brianna Stewart back, they've lost 2 in a row. They've lost 4 of 6, 6 of 10. And really, realistically playing for nothing while Seattle's playing for their playoff lives. So they're laying only 2. Seattle at home. Don't know how the Storm don't get the victory. Playing halfway decent. Give me Seattle laying only 2 against the New York Liberty, who got smoked their last 2 games against the Valkyries and the Mercury. So they're on this West Coast trip. They've had a few days off since the Golden State loss, but you know what? I don't have any faith in them. Give me Seattle laying the 2 at home in a big spot for them tonight.
No argument for me on this pick, Scott. We watch the WNBA together. We see it pretty much similarly. Dude, what's New York's record over the last 15 games against the spread? Like 2-13.
Oh, it's awful. Yeah,
maybe even 20. It's ridiculous.
16-1 against the spread on the road. Remember we brought that up against Golden State. They covered 3 games on the road all year. And
they get beat down too. Like they're not just losing. Yeah. Like they get beat up at times by teams. And the games are a pick 'em and they're favorites. And New York, Brianna Stewart when Brianna gets back. Okay, Brianna, you're back. Okay. Didn't she used to play for Seattle though, or was that?
Yeah,
she did. So. Yeah, she did. She left Seattle actually for the A. So that's one thing.
Yeah.
To bring up tonight, but so she'll be fired up. I get it, but the Storm have been playing better basketball over the last couple of weeks. I can't wait for this playoffs to start. And when they suspended Angel Reese for the first half, it's like college, Scott.
Yeah,
it's not even the game.
First half.
And for what? Like it wasn't as bad as people like the media made it out to be. She said, "I'm tired of losing. We need better players." And they told her, "Oh, you can't say that." Like, was she wrong?
I mean.
It's funny, Scott. Someone found a clip of Caitlin Clark doing a podcast saying, "We really need to get better, and we gotta get better and get better." Like Caitlin said the same thing about the Fever last year. No one, you know what I mean? Like, I get it. Yeah. Angel Reese says some dumb things. She brings it upon herself at times, but when she's right, she's right. Let's not just say she's wrong all the time.
Yeah, it would be nice for them to say, "You know what? You're right what you said, but you just can't say it, unfortunately." But yeah, we do suck. I mean, they got the worst record in the WNBA. I mean, so it's not like, she said anything.
And you see men, I don't want to be like getting into the sex stuff, but you see men say it all the time in the NBA. Oh, we effing suck. You see it all the time. We're terrible. We suck. All the time.
If you're a Sky fan, it's like a better. You want that team to show like, okay,
she's
realize it as much as we do. Yeah. You don't want to be happy. Oh yeah, we're in last place. I get to go home early this year.
I saw a clip when she was talking. Cardoso was sitting there grinning right beside her. She's thinking the same thing. She just didn't say it.
Yeah. So it doesn't take much in the WNBA. You bottom out, 2, 3 players, and they got a couple of them. So baseball, we probably should have Mark Zinno on again because his boy is pitching tonight. And no doubt, knowing Mark, he probably bet the Pittsburgh Pirates again because I don't know why, actually. Quinn Priester is pitching.
I thought you were talking about Schlittler. See, I got that one pretty good, actually.
Him too. No, we have Mark on. Oddly enough, it seems like, once a week, normal. But he seems to be coming on whenever this guy, Quinn Priester, pitches for the Brewers, right? Yeah. So the Brewers have won now 16. Really, this is a remarkable number. 16 straight starts with Quinn Priester, right? So Mark comes on every week saying he's betting against him. He's betting against him. He's betting. Like, okay, Mark, you keep on betting against him. You knock yourself out if you want to. But so the long story short, they're winning again tonight, 4-2.
We gave Zinno credit last night. He earlier in the week he said there was 2 nights and it wasn't like a last minute take. He said Cowboys +4 first half, guys. Cowboys +4. Now it was scary. We got that late field goal, obviously, to get it done. But what a strange game last night. So right now the Chiefs are at midfield. They're moving the ball. It ain't pretty for them. They don't really have anyone to throw it to. The total is 45.5 now in a 10-0 game. Point spread 4.5.
So this is, I think they got to score here. Otherwise, they're in a whole lot of trouble. But I think this is kind of when Mahomes kind of steps up to the pack and just
but if
wills
there's a
his way
team that
down
can
the
blow a
field.
lead, Scott, it's the Chargers.
It's the Chargers. Yeah, that's true. Cam Stewart coming up next.
We all know nothing beats the energy of playing live roulette in a casino. But playing roulette online sure does have its perks. At the casino, you'll average 40 to 50 spins per hour. But online, you're looking at 100 to 150. The more spins, the more chance of wins. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
The Dallas Cowboys losing that pass rush, losing another big impact player on the defensive side, all this does is make me like Dak Prescott more and CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens more, because what we talked about all offseason, right, Matt, which is, hey, when Dak is healthy, he is a top 5 fantasy quarterback, and the defense we think is okay, but we think they're going to be in a lot of shootouts. Now I definitely think there's going to be a lot more shootouts.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
No better place to be than SportsGrid. College football today, right here on the SportsGrid Network. Joe, Lisi, Donnie, right side for the entire season, Joe, on Saturday. This is your place. This is your place to be, Joe.
I love it. I tell you, and it's flying. Show's flying. We're on an hour already. I can't wait. We're licking our chops for these Rat Pack games. And it's a great slate.
Look at you on the screen right now.
Look like a little rat.
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
The reason why I feel like Jared Goff doesn't really enter these MVP conversations. Jared Goff last year was on the team with the best record in football, threw for 4,700 yards, 37 touchdowns, and Tom was never in the race. He was never in the race because we know he's not that guy.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Hour number 2. Scott and Gabe here for the entire football game tonight. Hopefully, keep your fingers crossed. We don't get any more lightning delays like we did last night. So it's a good thing we did kind of bail last night because that thing didn't get underway until way after 11:30. So we got Kansas City trailing the Chargers, but they are in the move. 10-0, 3rd and 1 at the Charger 32-yard line. Must be a timeout on the field. 9 minutes or so left, 8:45 to be exact. Kansas City, a favorite to start now, a 3.5-point underdog, down 10, and the over-under is 43.5. So,
big play here, guys, right now, Scott. Just to jump in here.
4th and 1.
It was like, it was like 3rd and 1 type of deal and 3rd and 2, and the Chargers blew it up. They didn't get it. Like, the Chargers' defensive line is really playing well. Remember, there was a lot of, the Chiefs' offensive line has always been under the gun, so to speak. They're going for it on a 4th and 1 from the 31-yard line right now. We'll see if they're just trying to get on the jump. No, they're going for it. And it's Mahomes. He dumps it off, and they get it. So first down, Chiefs inside the 30.
All right. With that, let's bring in our good buddy Cam Stewart to the program. SportsGrid host you see it here all the time on the grid. What's going on, Cam? You on KC or the Chargers tonight?
I did take KC, but actually Morency, thanks for him. I'll give him credit for one thing we talked about, and he brought up trends. And, I am like a politician. Like, I'll use trends and say, that trend sucks, or when it's good, I'm like, hey, yeah, the trend's working my way. But he talked about the Chargers early in games, right? So Chargers first quarter, that's the thing. And then I heard you guys, before I came on, sitting in the green room talking about if anybody's going to Charger, it's the Chargers. But they do look different tonight. Couple things, too, guys, live. Justin Herbert, the rushing yards on FanDuel, 14.5 points. 14.5 yards. I like over. He's at 6 right now. That's something I'm looking at. I know Gabe likes Mahomes over. I think both quarterbacks are going to run.
Mahomes just got murdered, but he popped up. Like, he got hit hard. Let's see. Here's the replay. And even worse for him, there was a flag against the Chiefs, so it was for nothing. Ooh. Actually, no, it wasn't that bad. Actually, it looked like impactful, but you kind of see. Yet, I just looked up at the U.S. Open, and I see medical timeout, Scott, for Yannick Sinner. That's always the danger, man, when you lay a 40-1, 50-1 favorite in tennis, and like it happens. And Sinner's kind of flaky too. This happens before. So how about this? Sinner won the first set 6-1. You figure, okay, Felix is overwhelmed. It's too much. Felix Auger just won the second set 6-3. He bounced back, the kid. He bounced back, and then Sinner fakes an injury for a medical timeout.
Classic
after he
move.
loses the set.
Yep.
This is a guy that already gets away with the drug test, and he's failed drug tests. Yeah. Everybody else gets an automatic 2 years, Wetzel, automatically in tennis. Like, there's no debate. It's like they're strict. They're the strictest of the strict. Like, remember, Kyrgios goes, I would be banned for life if I failed 2 tests like this guy. Like, you know what I mean? He goes, I know they said, it was a massage therapist, and he didn't know, and it was a protein shake, and he didn't know. Yeah, he doesn't know a lot, this guy. You know what I mean? He doesn't know a lot, it seems. For a smart guy, he doesn't know much. He's like Steve Ballmer. I'm just a country hick. I didn't know,
I would like to know that 6-3. I'm assuming it was 1 break. Well, it could have been 2 breaks, but I doubt he broke Sinner's serve twice in 1 set. That would really be a story.
You guys saw what happened with Sinner before. Like, he murdered the Italian. It was a horrible pick by me. Mazzotti, even with like the excessive games, he won by 11 games. So that was a bad bet by myself. But this is a little bit different. When you see Felix Auger-Aliassime come back and win 6-3, and Sinner might be a little bit beat down, like, it's hard to bet against Sinner, but it's one of those situations where maybe he can wear him down. But yeah, Gabe, this whole tennis stuff has to change, guys. I see people doing it all the time, especially the top players in the world. Ooh, I'm starting to lose my momentum. I'm going to fake an injury. Then they use it against. Hey, I guess they're smart because people aren't stopping them from doing it, but you see it happen all the time, and usually the favorite's doing it, not the underdog.
Yeah, it's within there. It's like calling a timeout, though. It is what it is. Nadal used to do it all the time, and just, you don't like the way things are going, you slow it down. For the record, I didn't have the courage to take Aliassime on the money line, but he is 2-1 in his career against Sinner. So, like, he's got, like, at least the knowledge. Yeah, Scott. Yeah, he's beaten him before. Twice. Right? So it's like, okay, I've got the knowledge. I have beaten this guy. You know what I mean? I'm not fully, like, it's not impossible. I've done it in my lifetime twice. And the way that he's playing, but to get drilled 6-1 and to bounce back after, but I took him plus 8.5. The total was 30.5, guys. It's 37.5 right now, which could be light because this looks like it could be a battle. And I took Felix Auger-Aliassime at plus 8.5 games. He's currently plus 6.5 games right now.
I like the 6.5. He's only down 2. When you think about it, right? Because he was 5 and then he came back with 3, so he's only down 2. So if you get 6.5, as long as he loses the other 2 sets 6-4, 6-4, you're a winner with the 6.5.
And hey, maybe he wins another set.
Dude, he's plus 500 live right now on FanDuel. It's a very risky bet.
Sinner went all the way down to minus 800 now from minus 4,200.
Yeah.
He just jumped back up to 900 because he just won a quick game.
Or 42,000, excuse me. 42,000. It was 42,900.
He's minus 900 in this spot right now. So that's pretty crazy number when they're tied in sets. But I think you guys probably got the right approach, taking the games, because Auger-Aliassime can hang with Sinner in this. Probably not going to win. The price is nice, but no, you're right. It's hard to beat this guy. But the games spread might be the way to go. Yeah, it's unbelievable with Priester. You guys were talking about him in Milwaukee winning. Huge series for the Blue Jays against the Yankees. They've already knocked out the starter. What do we got going on here? Yarborough's pitching 5-1 Jays, 8.5. With these bullpens, I kind of take a look at more runs in this game. I'm getting plus 102 as well if we can get some more runs there. Small play. Don't really love that, but this football game, I'd probably take the Chiefs. What do you guys get the Chiefs at?
Butker just kicked a field goal. So Chargers defense ends up with the stop. It's 4.5 point spread right now. The Chargers are 4.5 point favorites in a football game, and the total has dropped all the way to 42.5, which I'm somewhat proud of myself because I hate betting unders. And I said, you know what? I think I'm going to tease this game to the under, and I did. I got him in a couple of different teasers. So I like the fact that it's 42.5, guys, and there's a potential buyback, Scott, if this gets too low where, maybe we bet the over. But I don't know where the Chiefs' offense is going to come from, man. That's the whole thing with me in this game.
Yeah,
No.
I mean, I see Mahomes scrambling for his life. All his completions, guys, are just little 5-yard slant patterns. And, sooner or later, the Charger defensive backs are going to say to themselves, wait a minute, we don't have to play back because they're not throwing the ball deep, and these wide receivers aren't good enough to beat me deep. So you can get away with this in the first half, but once those DBs start playing up against the wide receivers, that Kansas City offense really is going to be in trouble. So, but you're one touchdown away from being, with 4.5 minutes left, halfway home, as far as the totals goes. So,
and the Chiefs are one play away, too, from tying the game.
Yeah.
But Mahomes is up to 15 yards right now. We'll see what the Chargers do on this drive. I'm not ready to buy in at the over 42.5. This is just, it's not really going anywhere right now. It's kind of a slow-paced game. The Xavier Worthy injury is sort of like Jalen Carter last night. It really had an impact. Like Jalen Carter is like, you saw like suddenly the Cowboys started running the ball all the time, almost too much for their own liking, their own good. Now tonight, Xavier Worthy getting taken out by Travis Kelce really affected the game, Scott.
Yeah, that really is. I mean, if your number one guy, is not in the game anymore, whether it's CeeDee Lamb or whether it's Jamar Chase or whoever, that really affects things. So, all right, we'll take a quick little break. We'll come back. We'll get Cam's thoughts on maybe some college football, some of the games tomorrow, and then we'll take a look at some of the other baseball stuff. A lot of good baseball series. It's getting, thrown in the back burner, but a lot of great series in baseball. Texas, Houston, Yankees, Toronto, Cincinnati, Mets, just to name a couple. We'll look at them all when we come back.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
Donnie, the season is 6 months, 5 if you check out in September. You're going to have a bad month. The Yankees had a horrible month, that is true. But beyond that, their regular season looks okay. They're going to win their 90 games or maybe a little bit more and get to the postseason. What is everybody freaking out about?
Everybody freaks out. It's the Yankee tax and the Yankee fan tax as well, where every single season you enter into the equation going like, it's championship or bust.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Remember these names: AZ Fudd, Olivia Miles, Lauren Betts. Depending on who wins that lottery, that's going to depend on who goes one. If Washington wins, it's Fudd. She's from the area. If Dallas wins, they're going to bring Fudd to play with obviously Paige. If Minnesota wins, I think they go Miles with the point. If Seattle wins, they go with Miles, and the same thing with Chicago.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
I was looking at it through my phone at first. I'm like, why is there such a delay? And why are we getting pitch hitters right away? Oh, the pitcher got thrown out for some reason. Maybe he hurt himself. But no, turning out and seeing a brawl was absolutely hilarious to let that one play out. Just the way it is sometimes in baseball. We don't get a lot of good fights and a lot of good brawls in anger, specifically from two teams that aren't going to the playoffs. So good on them for showing that moxie last time. But it's good to see a little bit of a brawl and a little bit of that passion here.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip? Try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
welcome back. In-game live, game day on the grid on this Friday evening. Scott, Gabe, and Mr. Cam Stewart joining us, talking a little football with him. But it's the Chargers who have the ball. They're on the move right around midfield, up 10-3 after the Kansas City field goal. 42.5 and 4.5. Got a tie game now with Louisville and James Madison. The Cardinals with a long touchdown pass go for two as they would down 14-12. So now early, really still early, but midway, 8:37 left to go in the third. It's 14-all, Cam. I was on James Madison. Gabe had Louisville in a money line. Both kind of like the over second half after it was only, 7-6 first half. And we got two quick touchdowns here. Did you have anybody in this game?
No, I actually didn't bet this game. I do have like the tennis and a couple baseball games and the football game, but no. But to Gabe's point earlier, I'd actually look at Louisville with momentum now after that 2-point conversion. It's 14-14 on FanDuel. They're minus 4.5. I think we got a lot of football left. I would not be shocked if they covered that number. Maybe more points in the game, but I would take Louisville with that spread right now at 4.5.
Mm-hmm. How about anything BC Ottawa CFL action? BC leading at 13-3.
The Ottawa Red Blacks offense, I watched part of this game, is deplorable. It's been like a very, very ugly game. Typical, Gabe, as you know, bleak. We talk about bleak in Ottawa. It's one of those bleak nights. BC, not their best performance, but Ottawa can't do anything on offense in this game. BC's laying 13.5. That totals all the way down to 37.5. That's very, very low, but I don't really trust Ottawa to come back in this game, guys. That's the whole thing. Like, you look to take a dog with an excessive points, but their offense has done absolutely jacked the whole game, and BC might extend this lead. So they're minus 13.5. They're up 10 right now. You can't trust the Red Blacks. They can't move the ball. Their punter, Leone, has been on the field like all game long. They just can't move it, and that's big trouble.
All right. Who do you got on baseball? You said you got some baseball plays.
Well, I took the Jays because that's my heart pick. But later on, too, guys, just looking at some late night action. Going to take a shot with the Athletics tonight. That game is just getting underway right now. I like them as a dog against the Angels, Scott, on the Blue Jays. And other than that, I don't know what to do with this Mets game. What are we looking at? Bottom of the eighth, though.
5-4.
Yeah, Cincinnati's plus 230. They got a runner on with one out there. That could be intriguing. They're getting 230. Nah, I'm gonna have to pass on that game. We're gonna bet more on the football, but I do like the rushing props for both quarterbacks. We've talked about this before, right? Mm-hmm. And I really liked what I saw with Herbert. I know a couple of them came back on holding calls, but he seems to be running the ball a little bit more. So his over 14.5 is something that I bet. And I know, Gabe, you're on Mahomes, but I expect Mahomes, if nobody's open, he's going to have to take off with the ball. So that number seems a little bit light. I like both quarterbacks to rush over their live totals.
Mm-hmm. Gabe and I had talked about it over the last few days. San Francisco, back to baseball here for a second. San Fran's winning again, guys. 6-0 now over St. Louis. I did play them. They're 10-1. Their last 11. Mets are winning. Padres just getting underway against Colorado. But I tell you, FanDuel's not offering, will they make the playoffs, Cam? But I tell you, this Giants team, you want to get hot at the right time, and they are. Gabe and I looked at their schedule. It's a pretty easy schedule outside of a series against the Dodgers, maybe 2 series against the Dodgers. But otherwise, they got Colorado again. They got St. Louis a couple times. And they're winning again tonight. Basically, pick 'em odds that they were anyway before 6-0 over St. Louis. What do you think about the Giants?
I'll give Morency credit too. Like, we were going through this on the podcast when there were 5 games back. We looked at their schedule and went, "This is awesome. Like, this is a great situation." And also a team that has beaten the Dodgers, play them. The Dodgers, who knows what's going to happen there? But some really easy games. They got the Rockies down the stretch and some other things. So, you know what, Scott? That's the whole thing. We think it's over, but there's still a lot of baseball left. That's the whole thing. You can make up that ground, right? If you get on a crazy run. And one thing we know, that team has done it in the past. They can be that team. So yes, college football tomorrow. Gabe and I will be on, Scott, at noon Eastern. I know you guys follow us, but that Iowa State game looks absolutely fantastic. We're getting 3.5. I told Morency on the pod, I'm taking Iowa plus the 3.5. Those totals, they plays like a military game a lot of the time. We mentioned that, but I'm going to tell you, I actually, doing a same game teaser is pretty stupid in college. Oh my God, the Chargers almost scored, just missed. They look good though, Scott. Like, a couple of these balls, that could have been another touchdown right now. They're getting to Kansas City, but Iowa plus the 3.5. I think we like Baylor right now. I haven't pulled the trigger in that game, but I do disagree with Gabe on one game. I like Duke plus 2.5 against Illinois, Scott. That's what I'm looking at for the early late.
Why? Because they're in my opposite picks. I'll give you a great Iowa trend here, too. They're in my opposite picks as well.
So
But
what are you telling me? Like, who's opposite picks? Like, am I on the right side or on the wrong side?
I love Illinois. Illinois laying 2.5 against the Dookie Pukies. I mean, they're always supposed to be a top 10 team. They're going to lose to Duke. You're right. They almost did score.
I like Iowa plus 3.5, but I know. I told you, Gabe and I we're agreeing on that game, but I like Duke. I think it's a fish line, and we'll see what happens tomorrow. I could be totally wrong, but I think Duke can play with these guys. I think they're going to win the game. So I'll take the 2.5 points. Hopefully, get it to 3 by game time.
Here's the Iowa number you guys will like a lot. Iowa has either won outright or lost by 3 points or less against Iowa State in 36 of their last 41 meetings, and you're getting 3.5 tomorrow. 36 to 5, basically.
It is one of those games. It is one of those games where if whoever was 3.5 point favorites, I would like the underdog. Right? It's such a close game, such a close rivalry, but the total went up, which intrigued me that it was 41.5, 40, 41, 41.5, up to 42.5 now. 5 of the last 6 times they played, Scott, it's gone under 40 points. They haven't gotten there. It's almost like the military special, right? You know, when military teams play, it's almost like the same thing where, like, with Iowa State, you're not taking the over. Like, if you are, God bless you. I'm not, and I'm a big over bettor. I'm not doing that. I like the under. I like Illinois to beat Duke, too. I think Illinois are the real deal.
Yeah. Man, they might not be able to beat Michigan and Penn State and Ohio State, but they should be able to beat Duke.
I don't know. Duke does have Mensa now, the quarterback from Tulane, right? They paid the kid like $4 million. So they do have a QB, but don't forget, Illinois handled Lenora Sellers last year in that bowl game. So they're used to dynamic quarterbacks, and like Illinois are better than people realize.
Yeah, they're not bad. Boise scored again.
There we go.
They're going to put 60 on the board. 60 on the board. Cam, great job, man. Thanks.
We all know nothing beats the energy of playing live roulette in a casino. But playing roulette online sure does have its perks. At the casino, you'll average 40 to 50 spins per hour. But online, you're looking at 100 to 150. The more spins, the more chance of wins. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
The Dallas Cowboys losing that pass rush, losing another big impact player on the defensive side, all this does is make me like Dak Prescott more and CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens more, because what we talked about all offseason, right, Matt, which is, hey, when Dak is healthy, he is a top 5 fantasy quarterback, and the defense we think is okay, but we think they're going to be in a lot of shootouts. Now I definitely think there's going to be a lot more shootouts.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
No better place to be than SportsGrid. College football today, right here on the SportsGrid Network. Joe, Lisi, Donnie, right side for the entire season, Joe, on Saturday. This is your place. This is your place to be, Joe.
I love it. I tell you. And it's flying. Show's flying. We're on an hour already. I can't wait. We're licking our chops for these Rat Pack games. And it's a great slate.
Look at you on the screen right now.
Look like a little rat.
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
The reason why I feel like Jared Goff doesn't really enter these MVP conversations. Jared Goff last year was on the team with the best record in football, threw for 4,700 yards, 37 touchdowns, and Tom was never in the race. He was never in the race because we know he's not that guy.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in game live. Game day here on the grid. They're closing out the first half. Chargers on the move, though. Less than a minute left, 51 seconds left. They have it at the Kansas City 26-yard line. Welcome back in game live. Scott and Gabe, thanks to Cam Stewart for joining us there. 10-3 Chargers leading. They had the ball, like I said, at the Kansas City 26. It's 3rd and 16. And FanDuel just locked it up. So we'll see what's going on, whether it's going to be – oh, there it goes. Now it's back. So Chargers laying 6.5, and an over-under is down to 39.5. Wow. I figure they're going to kick a field goal here, right? 16 points, and then Kansas City's probably going to have, 30 seconds or so left. They're going to try and score. Who got the ball first? Kansas City did. KC did. Go ahead.
Normally, I would say, hey, like the Chiefs, they scored in 13 seconds against the Bills. You and I talked about this earlier in the week. But it's not the same Chief offense right now. I don't think they're going to, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think the Chiefs are going to score on the way out of this half. But nice start for our underlook of this game. And at what point, Scott, what's the number are you interested in buying in on the over? So here they're lining up for the field goal right now. You're right. They will have like close to 50. There's 49 seconds now. Whatever, after the kickoff, they'll have about 40 seconds, 36, whatever, give or take. So we're up to 16. We're up to 16 right now. What's the new total here at?
Best case scenario is what, 19, right? They're giving us 39.5.
Still a little high. Too high for my liking still.
Yeah.
For me, they get in, obviously, then we get to 28.5 or something stupid, but that'll be late in the game if that happens. But 34, what's the 34 and a half is kind of a key number, right? Like to get to 35 type of deal.
Yeah. That's just what I said. It's amazing. 30. I was thinking the same thing, like 34 and a half. And that would be 2 touchdowns plus a field goal. That you could get. That's
so if we start the second half without any action, I don't like screwing things up though. It's funny, Scott, because when I have an over bet, I don't mind chasing it, and I did last night. I ended up losing. I didn't win a single one of them. But when I don't bet a lot of unders, but when I do, I'm always hesitant to try to buy back in on the over. I'm like, no, don't mess with this. You like the under. You're on the right side so far. We've got a tease to the under as well. So, we're in a pretty good spot here. But I am curious, and we'll definitely get into some player props here, which you and I both said last night. It will not be a proper-palooza tonight in this football game. We this is kind of going the way we talked about with a lot of our guests. Smash mouth division game.
And you got the wrong team favorite as far as if Kansas City's leading, then the Chargers would come out, throw the football, and maybe not go like they ideally want to do. But with the Chargers leading, now you're going to have them, if they have the ball, just keep on, feeding the rock to the guys in the backfield. Humphrey's got 31 yards, just keep on eating up that clock. So it's kind of in reverse for some of these props.
Mahomes at 15 still right now. So he was at 11 when we made the bet, right? So he had 4 yards. You figure now on this drive here, Scott, this would be an opportunity for him to scramble and maybe pick up another dozen yards or so for us here.
Yeah. No timeouts for Kansas City, unfortunately. He's thrown for 57 yards and he has 15 yards rushing. This is
it's on pace. His quarterback rating 65.1 right now.
Wow.
Statistically, Mahomes has not really been that good for the last 2 years or so, Scott. Yeah, I've seen a lot of comparisons, like Mahomes, versus quarterback B, and you're always surprised who it is. It's like, wow, that guy has the same amount of touchdown passes Mahomes, but they've won because of their defense. They really have. I've talked about it for the last couple of years. People don't talk about him enough, but the guy that they've won Super Bowls with, Mahomes gets the credit and he gets the glory and the commercials. They don't win without Chris Jones, Scott. Like Chris Jones, that guy has made so many big defensive plays and sacks in playoff games for them in Super Bowls. They don't win without him. It's like Aaron Donald, so to speak, like on the Rams. They don't win without him. Right, but Chris Jones is a little older, though, and he's been paid now. He's not the same player anymore. He's been injured, right? So, the Chiefs, to me, are starting to fade, and I like to see it as a Bills fan. I think it's the Bills and the Ravens, and we'll see the Chargers making a statement right now.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, if
Broncos,
they're
too,
out
potentially.
Worthy, I hate to be the bearer of bad news for Chief fans, but if they're ruling Worthy out already for the rest of the game, Gabe, boy, that tells me,
moving forward,
really not right. Yeah. And Rice is out for 6 games? They
So
play
Mahomes-
Philadelphia next week and Baltimore in 3 weeks. And
Love
then
it.
Detroit
Love
in
to
5
see
weeks.
it.
They're looking down the barrel of a 2-4 start at best.
Mahomes just completes a pass down the field, though, and gets them into field goal range. We might be able to get the long field goal
Just
prop
like
here,
that.
actually.
Yeah, just like that. That's amazing.
Ah,
More coming up.
KC.
We all know nothing beats the energy of playing live roulette in a casino. But playing roulette online sure does have its perks. At the casino, you'll average 40 to 50 spins per hour. But online, you're looking at 100 to 150. The more spins, the more chance of wins. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
The Dallas Cowboys losing that pass rush, losing another big impact player on the defensive side, all this does is make me like Dak Prescott more and CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens more, because what we talked about all offseason, right, Matt, which is, hey, when Dak is healthy, he is a top 5 fantasy quarterback, and the defense we think is okay, but we think they're going to be in a lot of shootouts. Now I definitely think there's going to be a lot more shootouts.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
No better place to be than SportsGrid. College football today, right here on the SportsGrid Network. Joe, Lisi, Donnie, right side for the entire season, Joe, on Saturday. This is your place. This is your place to be, Joe.
I love it. I tell you. And it's flying. Show's flying. We're on an hour already. I can't wait. We're licking our chops for these Rat Pack games. And it's a great slate.
Look at you on the screen right
Look
now.
like
with
a
the
little
next
rat.
day. He's got
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
The reason why I feel like Jared Goff doesn't really enter these MVP conversations. Jared Goff last year was on the team with the best record in football, threw for 4,700 yards, 37 touchdowns, and Tom was never in the race. He was never in the race because we know he's not that guy.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Yeah, I'm thinking too bad this game wasn't like 6-7 years ago. Otherwise, Kansas City would be fine. You know, you got Juju Smith-Schuster on one side, Hollywood Brown on the other. Nice Travis Kelce catching balls over the middle. Boy, this is 2020. You're okay, but unfortunately, it's 2025, and these guys are all past their prime. So, 2 false start penalties for Kansas City. What do we got now?
An exciting and frantic end to the Chiefs are all fired up right now going into the room because of this. Like you wouldn't be able to tell they're losing.
Wow, they kicked the field goal.
Yeah,
How
and
about that?
they had no timeout, Scott, and they literally had the fire drill going on. It was like 9 seconds, and guys were getting on and off the field.
And they couldn't spike. They couldn't spike it because it was
59-yarder. 59-yarder. Butker makes it on the fly. Runs in, boom, 59-yarder. Cash it.
Wow.
Over 50.5. They tried to scare us off. Can't do it. 2-0 long field goal.
Nobody was moving on that offensive line because it was 4th down, so they couldn't spike the ball. Otherwise, they turned the ball over.
Did everybody get off the field, too?
Yeah, I bet.
I'd like to see the overhead shot. I want to see the overhead shot because I was like, I don't think they're all getting off the field on time here.
Yeah. That's a good job by Kansas City having those guys ready, though. I will say that.
You're seeing the replay a little bit behind me, and watch after Butker makes it. One of the NFL like ball boys goes over and gives him a high five, which is kind of inappropriate.
Yeah, that's not exactly the best thing to do, right? Whatever happened to the ball boys in Boston with the Deflategate, right? Never to be heard from again. No one ever did any research, no follow-up.
I hope Brady hooked them up behind the scenes, Scott, and like said, all right, here's a couple of $100K.
Yeah,
here's a couple of $100K.
Exactly. You go away, and here's a couple $100,000. Don't worry about your little, $10,000 probably a year job, and we'll take care of you. Absolutely. So, all right.
I
So
don't know.
Chargers,
Someone better have. I thought you were going to bring up the guy that was on the weekend pass out of jail, and he plowed the snow for the field goal kick years ago.
Yeah. I remember that.
That would never happen now. It's just so funny. Guys like a lot in the 70s, the field was covered in snow, and the Patriots were lining up for a game-winning field goal, and this dude came out in like a snowplow. Like, he came out, he starts like clearing just like the snow where the Patriots are going to kick, and like the Dolphins are like, what the hell's going on here? You can't do this. And they did, and the kick was good. And then it turned out they're like, and the guy that did that was on a work program with the Patriots. Yeah, he was in jail, and he got out on jail as a reward for the day to work at the stadium, and he was the one that won the game for them.
And you see, like before that, all the Patriot players, they're all on their hands and knees, and they're trying to sweep an area for the. Here
he comes out driving out.
That just says, "Get out of the way, fellas! I'm gonna take care of it." Made a little pass, kicks the field goal,
Too
try
funny.
to play the game. And the
It really is. It really is one of the classic NFL moments. That's one of the most memorable NFL moments in a game.
Like, what could you have done as an official? Like, throw the snow back on there? Once the guy cleared it, and it was like a foot of snow. Maybe not a foot. There was like a good 6-7 inches. It's like it was a lot of snow. It wasn't just like an inch or two. So
I like to see now what would happen if some dude randomly on a snowplow. They'd be like, who are you like? What's going on? You can't be out here. You can't be out here. This CFL game's getting wild. I know we got to get our eyes on everything, but BC are exploding. Now it's 27-10. They just returned a kick for a touchdown. And what's up with JMU and Louisville? It's been a pretty entertaining game, actually, Scott, this James Madison game. 14-14 with $1:30 left in the third quarter right now.
Yeah. Over-under now is 44.5. Both of them got touchdowns in the second half. 2-point conversion for Louisville tied it, so that's looking halfway decent. Northern Illinois scored again. I didn't quite get why they were 16.5-point underdogs. So it's 13-9. Not a high-scoring game, but they were getting over 2 touchdowns. Northern is great against the spread. They were 30. What are they? 30. 30-11-2 against the spread as road underdogs. They are a covering machine. Northern.
Remember, they beat Notre Dame in this spot last year. It was like week 2.
Yeah.
Like, They always, Northern Illinois step up again. They always have these games circled. They had this one circled. I bet you they were kind of looking ahead to Maryland against Holy Cross last week, actually. They were all fired up. Yeah, Maryland, right? And Holy Cross are a decent team, but, for their program size. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, and sometimes they don't want to show things, too, which I know is kind of goofy, but these coaches get a little anal and all this stuff. So, that would be a big
one of the first 4 letters of analytics.
Yeah, anal, right? It
says it all right there.
Yeah. I mean, you can get these game films all over the place. I mean, listen, I don't know. I'd like to know, really, who was it that wouldn't tell? I think it was the Dopey Giants. Yeah, they wouldn't say, Gabe, not who their starting quarterback is. We all know it'll be Russell Wilson. They weren't saying who the backup would be, either Jackson Dart or Jameis Winston. They're so concerned, so anal about telling Washington.
Like the Washington Commanders are losing sleep over that.
Over who the backup quarterback
like Dan
is
Quinn cares.
Right?
It's like he cares.
Come on, guys.
Well, like you said, that's the overthinking. End of the third quarter right now. We're tied at 14 in Louisville. Louisville had the football. What was going on here? I want to see what the down and distance was. Actually, because it looked like they were 4th and 2 again. See, they keep on getting into these like short situations. They're having a hard time staying ahead of schedule here, Scott. Where are they on the field here, though? They're going to go for it again because they have gone for it. Like, it's the one thing I like about college. These coaches, they're like, screw it, we're going for it.
Yeah,
I like the aggression. I like the aggression.
43.
Yeah, you know what?
Yeah.
They'll probably
end
punt
of third
here.
quarter. I bet they punt. Low score. If it was a high-scoring game, they'd probably go for it. Low-scoring game. fourth quarter.
Their defense has stepped up. Miller Moss, just looked frustrated on the sideline, taking his helmet off here. So it looks like they're going to end up punting. But we got an entertaining game there, 13-9 and 13-0 Boise State right now, late in the first quarter over Eastern Washington. Northwestern up on the Leathernecks, 25-0. So Northwestern starting to flex a little bit here. 6 minutes left in the third quarter of that game. And as far as the NFL game is concerned, official halftime numbers, the Chargers -3.5 right now. So let's look at it from a Chief perspective, Scott. Chiefs are +3.5 right now, +160. +160 on the money line. Knowing the history of Mahomes in the fourth quarter, knowing the history and the numbers that we talked about before the game of the Chargers being 15-6, now make it 16-6 in the first half. They're also 4-12 their last 16 fourth quarters. And oh yeah, by the way, the synergy is real because the Chiefs are 12-4 their last 16 fourth quarters. So are you buying into the collapse here? Do you think the Chiefs are the play at +160, or do you think the Chargers hang on? What's your opinion?
Here's two things. One, if the Chiefs come back and win this game, as bad as they look, right? Not that they're playing bad, they're only down one score, right? But as bad as they look, it would just be like, here we go again, man. What do you have to do? All I hope, Gabe, is that if they do come back and win, it's not because the official made a call like we've seen 1,000 times with these Kansas City games. Let them actually win the game. I think the Chargers actually get the job done. I'm going to point to, because I don't think Kansas City scored 24 points, and we gave this out yesterday.
What about the 3.5 then? The Chiefs are getting 3.5. Do you think it's you could argue the Chiefs +3.5 isn't a bad play? I just don't like them when I'm on the Chargers, but I'm just speaking objectively.
I'm looking at that, and I don't see it happening. I would lay the 3.5. I would. Even -235 on the money line is not that bad of a price. But I don't think Kansas City's going to do it tonight. I don't get that sense. Mahomes is going for 98 yards. His receivers aren't doing anything except for this one last drive, and that was kind of a fluke. So we'll talk more. We'll get some more halftime numbers when we come back in Game Live.
We all know nothing beats the energy of playing live roulette in a casino. But playing roulette online sure does have its perks. At the casino, you'll average 40 to 50 spins per hour. But online, you're looking at 100 to 150. The more spins, the more chance of wins. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
The Dallas Cowboys losing that pass rush, losing another big impact player on the defensive side, all this does is make me like Dak Prescott more and CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens more, because what we talked about all offseason, right, Matt, which is, hey, when Dak is healthy, he is a top 5 fantasy quarterback, and the defense we think is okay, but we think they're going to be in a lot of shootouts. Now I definitely think there's going to be a lot more shootouts.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
No better place to be than SportsGrid. College football today, right here on the SportsGrid Network. Joe, Lisi, Donnie, right side for the entire season, Joe, on Saturday. This is your place. This is your place to be, Joe.
I love it. I tell you. And it's flying. Show's flying. We're on an hour already. I can't wait. We're licking our chops for these Rat Pack games. And it's a great slate.
Look at you on the screen right now.
Look like a little rat.
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
The reason why I feel like Jared Goff doesn't really enter these MVP conversations. Jared Goff last year was on the team with the best record in football, threw for 4,700 yards, 37 touchdowns, and Tom was never in the race. He was never in the race because we know he's not that guy.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back. It is in-game live game day on the grid. Scott and Gabe. So we're at the half. Kansas City and the LA Chargers. Chargers leading them by 7, so it gives us time to get some thoughts and some other predictions from some guests that we have, including Scott Steen. HitThePick.com is the website to get all his plays. HitThePick.com. Follow him on Twitter at SteenRoller. What's going on, Scott? Scott and Gabe, how are you tonight, bud?
Good. Just seems like I watched this game back in February. Just the way it started with as a Chiefs fan, man. And here's how it started for me. All right, I've got Xavier Worthy on my fantasy team. He lasted 3 plays.
Ooh.
So yeah, that's pretty much the way my season started off. So it's going great.
I never demand a refund, Scott. I never demand a refund, but you always see these sports books all the time. They always give people their money back, like with props all the time.
Yeah.
Right.
My book gave me a $400 like odds boost last night. They actually gave me a $500 free roll today. So they're in a pretty good mood, but they're not big on like these freebies when players get hurt. But how about the fact that it was your boy, Travis Kelce, that actually injured him, which is just insane to me.
Unbelievable. Mahomes took out Rice last season, and Kelce took out Worthy this season. That really kind of needs to stop. It really does. I'll tell you. Go ahead, Scott.
No, I was just it's funny. I was trying to remember who it was. But I remember a quarterback taking out a guy, and that's right. It was on the fumble near the sidelines, right when Mahomes dove for the ball and took out Rice. Yeah, how crazy is that?
Exactly right. So it's going to be. We are, as a Chiefs fan, Chiefs are lucky to be down 7 points. This could be in a lot worse shape. That was a colossal screw up there at the end of the game or at the end of the half by him getting out of bounds, stopping the clock and giving Mahomes enough time to drive down there and kick the field goal. And by the way, Gabe, I heard you, and they did show a replay. I checked it. Everybody was set on that field goal. They were really. It really looked legit. Yeah.
So says a man in a red hoodie that lives in Kansas City. Scott.
Yeah.
Sure, we love you, Steve.
Okay.
Well, I want to see the overhead helicopter shot here.
I'm kidding. I'm not saying it wasn't in slow-mo or anything, but yeah, they were all
freeze.
It was Wetzel. Wetzel was the more skeptical one. He was the one that brought it up first. He's like, I don't believe they got off.
I heard his.
I didn't show any replay of that before. They didn't show any replay right after the
You noticed they didn't, Scott. They didn't show us a replay.
No.
They didn't say, oh, look how good they were of getting off the field. I bet you was like, yeah, listen, don't show that because they're not off the field.
Yeah.
I heard.
A bunch of people in Brazil don't even know any better. They're like, whatever. Hey.
I heard you, Scott, and all your don't let the referees win it for him at the end of the game talk. I know. I heard it.
As a pseudo Bengals fan, from last year. A couple
what do you
years
think,
ago.
though? What do you think, Steamroller, of the second half? And all kidding aside, Scott Steen actually told us, hey, he took the Chargers tonight. So coming into this, you said, you were on the Chargers. But what do you think? Yeah. We've seen this before, though, right? The Chargers have often had the lead on the Chiefs, and you get that fourth quarter magic. I talked about it. The Chargers 4-12 against the spread in the fourth quarter last year. The Chiefs happen to be 12-4 against the spread in the fourth quarter. Chargers fade, Chiefs end strong all the time. Can they do it tonight without Worthy in the lineup and Rashee Rice in the lineup now?
You know, I think, and they threw up a stat right before halftime as they threw it to halftime. It said the Chiefs are 7-2 under Andy Reid when they're down at halftime to the Chargers. So take that for what it's worth. I think a lot of this game plan was schemed to involve Worthy a lot, and I think the fact that he is not there. When you've got to run your receivers through Hollywood Brown, it's going to be a long night. As a Chiefs fan, I want to say I'm optimistic, but watching this game and the way that the Chargers have dominated, I don't think the Chiefs have it in them. I really don't. I think this is just one of those flat games. They're going to have to get past it and get back in the States.
Oh, here's that stat, guys, that I was looking that I made reference to, Gabe. Kansas City, 21-13 straight up when trailing at the half since 2020. No other team is even above 40%, let alone above 500, and they're
21-13.
500.
So
that is amazing.
And Scott, but I'll throw it to you. What's all this? You saw how that half ended. The Chiefs' body language was not flat after that. They were all like, wow. Like, you would have thought they just won the game. Like, the coaching staff all ran out. Bucker was high-fiving everybody. little momentum running off the field. And even though it's kind of negative, guys, we're talking about the Kansas City Chiefs and they're down 7 points.
That's right.
So they're down 7 points in a football game against a team that has a mental block that can't beat them, Steamroller.
And then there's the
2021.
Oh, they've owned them. And 2 of those games have gone to overtime. It was like 7 of the last 9 games have been 1-score games, and it's been incredible. 4 of the last 6, 3 points or less. Scott, I don't know if you know this stat, but Mahomes is the only quarterback in history to be over 500 when down by 10 points or more. Next is Brady, and he's about 43%, and Mahomes is like 58, 59%. So if anybody can come back, it's going to be him. And I'm a weird Chiefs fan. I'm one of these extremely pessimistic fans. Like, oh, we suck. This will be the year we're going to go 7-10 or whatever, you know. So
I hate people like you. Oh, we're no good and we win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
See, as a Dodger fan, I say we kick ass. We're the Dodgers. I'm just kidding again, but you know what I mean, Wetzel, the pessimistic fan. Oh no, we're no good. Like,
yeah. That because you can't get them disappointed. Then it's almost like being a fair weather fan, you know. Because if they don't do well, you just say, "Yeah, see, I knew they were going to do well." It's one of those things.
Yeah.
All right. So can Mahomes get to Scott? Can Mahomes throw for 140 yards second half? He's at 98. The number's 240.5. It was, by the way, 244.5 5 minutes ago. They lowered it a little bit. 240.5. Is he going to throw for basically 150 yards second half?
Guys, in all seriousness, I think so much depends on this first drive for the Chargers. I think if the Chargers go down and score even a field goal, I think you could be good because we haven't been able to run the football. I think Mahomes is going to be tossing the ball around a lot in the second half. I think you've got a good shot there, Scott, especially if the Chargers score right out of the gate. Now, if it becomes a grind fest, the 3 and out, then you're probably not good. But if the Chiefs get down 2 scores, I think Mahomes has a shot.
All right, we'll talk more with Scott if you got a second. Yeah, we'll check out some of them from that.
Yeah, we'll hit that after.
Come back.
We all know nothing beats the energy of playing live roulette in a casino. But playing roulette online sure does have its perks. At the casino, you'll average 40 to 50 spins per hour. But online, you're looking at 100 to 150. The more spins, the more chance of wins. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
The Dallas Cowboys losing that pass rush, losing another big impact player on the defensive side, all this does is make me like Dak Prescott more and CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens more, because what we talked about all offseason, right, Matt, which is, hey, when Dak is healthy, he is a top 5 fantasy quarterback, and the defense we think is okay, but we think they're going to be in a lot of shootouts. Now I definitely think there's going to be a lot more shootouts.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
No better place to be than SportsGrid. College football today, right here on the SportsGrid Network. Joe, Lisi, Donnie, right side for the entire season, Joe, on Saturday. This is your place. This is your place to be, Joe.
I love it. I tell you, and it's flying. Show's flying. We're on an hour already. I can't wait. We're licking our chops for these Rat Pack games. And it's a great slate.
Look at you on the screen right now.
Look like a little rat.
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
The reason why I feel like Jared Goff doesn't really enter these MVP conversations. Jared Goff last year was on the team with the best record in football, threw for 4,700 yards, 37 touchdowns, and Tom was never in the race. He was never in the race because we know he's not that guy.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back. In-game live game day here on the grid. Scott and Gabe, hour number 2. Looking at the little football second half underway. Talk with Scott Steen. HitThePick.com is the website to find all his plays, all the action. HitThePick.com and that Steamroller. So Scott did just get underway, but that doesn't mean we still can't play some props. We threw out the Patrick Mahomes one. Any other props? Second half angles you think would be a good play?
Omarion rushing props, I think, is solid.
Right.
Let me see if I can get to that. Let's see what they do here. Okay. Yeah. What's his?
I'll tell you, he's got 32 yards rushing right now, 9 for 32. Which is weird because every time I look up, he's carrying the ball and he's going right down the field for like 5-6 yards, and I'm shocked he only has 32.
Right on.
Yeah,
right on.
I was thinking
the Chargers go super fast, 3 and out. It took 14.
Wow.
At the 14:08 mark, the Chargers punched, so they couldn't take a minute off the clock to start. Like I said, it's almost like a movie that you know the ending. It happens over and over.
Yeah.
Well, and of course, and once I've said that the Chiefs aren't going to come back, then all bets are off.
Come back.
Yeah.
What about tomorrow?
There's
college football.
I've got a couple that I really like. The one that I really like is this Illinois Duke game. Illinois laying 2.5 on the road. What worries me is that Duke played Elon last week, and their 2 main backs had more than 5 yards per carry. They've got that 3-headed monster there at Illinois that I think is going to be able to just run wild. So I think the Illini are a good play there. I just don't think Duke's going to have enough possessions to get anything done. I also like FIU plus 41.5 against Penn State. I really am looking for that to go to 42 and grab that. But Penn State is not going to show anything in the month of September. They have a super weak schedule. Played Nevada last week. They showed nothing. They were content to just run the football. And I think it's a home game. They've got everybody down the bench. I think they're going to be pulling starters by the third quarter, and FIU will sneak out a cover in that one. And then I got one more that I really like, and that's the OK State plus 28.5 against Oregon. And I know you guys probably not through. I think I might have heard a little groaning when I told you that when we were off air. But this is a
it wasn't me.
I get it.
It's an opposite pick. Another opposite pick play.
And this is kind of one of those things where you just have to throw out last season for OK State. Gundy's a hell of a coach, and they were coming into last year. He'd won 29 games over the previous 3 seasons. I know a lot of people are worried because they lost their quarterback, but they've got Zane Flores in there. He doesn't have the legs. He doesn't have the wheels that Hengy does, but he can absolutely throw the ball down the field. He's a big kid with a big arm, and I think he can push the ball and make this Oregon State defense stay on their toes. They just had a ton of injuries and bad breaks last season. I just think they are undervalued here based on their play last week. They only beat UT Martin by 20 points. But this is a team that traditionally starts kind of slow. Gundy's not a blow 'em out kind of guy. 2023, they beat Central Arkansas 27-13. That team won 10 games. So they've got some history of not blowing out the weaker teams there in the first week. I think they're fine. I'll take the you want to give me better than 4 touchdowns? I'll take that hook every day. Give me Oklahoma State 28.5 there.
One thing I'll say about that, and Wetzel, it sounds like you have a play on that game a little bit later on, your opposite picks. I don't know if it was a very smart idea of Gundy to start talking smack about how much money the Ducks have. And, he basically, like, what are you running your mouth for, bro? You're going there, like, they're going to run the score up on them bad. That's my opinion. I'm like, dude, you really shouldn't have ran your mouth, Gundy. Like, you really just should have. Like, seriously, Wetzel, like, what your kids are the ones that are going to have to take the beating now, in my opinion. So, but you want to run your mouth? Go ahead. Lanning took it personal. Lanning was mad about that.
He did. Yeah. He came back and said, well, some teams want to win and other teams don't. You know, I mean, so it's not just like one little comment, like, all right, whatever. I mean, like, you need a reason, as we'll say here in a little while, to beat a
motivation.
team by 4 touchdowns.
Fake motivation.
You gave him. You gave him the motivation to win by 4 touchdowns.
Although Mike Gundy running his mouth unnecessarily is kind of like a monthly or weekly occurrence. So
no, I don't know. That's true. And it's a lot of points, but I highlighted that earlier in the week. I was like, that was a dumb idea, Coach. They're going to murder you. But we'll see what happens.
Real quickly, your thoughts, Michigan, Oklahoma, the biggie. Oh,
I like Michigan there.
Michigan plus the points. Plus 5.5.
Let's go, boom.
Yeah. Scott, great job, man. Appreciate it. Scott Steen. We'll do it again soon.